Okay, so further to series to how to create a databases or tables. I have in my last video I have shown how to create multiple different type of tables with this simple method. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to okay, all these tables are there. I'm closing them, and there we go. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a primary key. So to create a primary key, there are multiple different type of ways you can either right click on this and could go to design, and once you go to design you can look at this small arrow and click on that, set as a primary key. So customer ID I wanted to set as a primary key, and this will be my one of the primary key setup here. And if I just refresh it again, I can see this little tab is there, which means that there is a key which is established here. If I close it, okay, I can see customer ID. I have got a key there, which is in the column, which is called primary key. Okay, okay. Then I have got one thing, which is if you go to you want to establish a, so you can see that here is the primary key. I was just looking whether it's the primary key is appearing here or not. Now this is that simple to create a primary key. But if you wanted to create a for example compound key, which means that there is two keys which can be used in this database as to connect with two different type of databases, then you can create two primary keys. So in that case, it means that they both should be there at one time, and if they both should be there at one time, it will work. So for example, if there is a potatoes, a different type of products is there, and these products have got, let's have a look at this design, and I'll make maybe be able to explain it more to the design. And then you can see there is a design there, order ID, product ID, quantity. So I've got two ID which can be connected, like order ID can connect with order, product ID which can connect with product. So if I have both of them, I can create the uh, the compound key. Now to create the compound key, you need to hold CTRL and try to select both of them. Okay, to create a compound key, what you need to do, you need to hold, click both of them and then hold it, and then you press the button control. And when you press the button, you'll be able to just click on this section, and then you will be able to select both sections of this table. And again, you set a primary key. Once you set a primary key, it will associate to both the columns, so it becomes as a compound key for you. And this is how you can create a compound key. And let me just save this. So if I just save it, yeah, so this has been saved now, and I'm going to close this because my this table is saved, and I'm just going to refresh it. I can see there is a expanded pk order keys, order line, and there is a two compound keys which is reflecting here. So you can see that how it's reflected into the order line. So you can create two compound keys which is set as a primary key, but they are part of one table. Okay, third one, we are going to see how to create a foreign key. So to create a foreign key, I'm just going to see at my order table, because Remember, the rule of the thumb with the foreign key should be to establish the relationship between the two tables. So you are using this key with the order table, so you can establish a relationship, for example, with the customer. So you just right click on that, put it the design, and you can see order ID, customer ID, and order date. So if I set this one as my primary key, this is my primary key. Now, if you look at the customer ID into the customer table, let's look at the customer table. So COUSTOMER ID, and then in here in the order table, it should look similar. COUSTOMER ID, COUSTO. Okay, that's fine. And they both are similar type, integer type, and integer type. So now I will create a customer ID is my foreign key because it has got the connectivity and the column, which is this one. So now I'll create a foreign key for you. Let's have a look. Okay, so for the customer ID, I want to create this one as a foreign key. Now, to do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to keys here on the order, and I'm going to right click, and you can see that there is a new foreign key appear. And if I just click on that, then it will give me this section of creating the keys. Now I'll go to table and column specification, and can you see these three dots over there? You click on that three dots, and you can see this kind of a table. Now you need to think of one thing: which table has got the primary key, and what is the name of that primary key. So primary key is a part of our customer table. And if we look at this, what is the key name? Customer ID. So customer ID is the primary key onto the customer table, and it will become a foreign key onto the order table. So I want to create it in the foreign table, into the foreign key table. It will become that. Then I click on OK, and I'm going to close it, and I'm going to refresh it, and give it a second or so.
Server says it's making changes to two tables.
So here I can just close the table, and yes, it's showing me that. Do you want to continue? I'll say yes. And here I got actually foreign key is established here. If I refresh it, I can see that both the keys is there, the primary key and the foreign key. So this is the way you can create a foreign key into the table, entity relationship tables. Now that's the one way you can create. You can also create, for example, in product, because we have just created the relationship between these two tables. And now it's depending on what sort of design you want it to have. So if you go to table, um, go to database diagram. There is a design option. Data table designer table. Okay, let me have a look. Where is the designer option? And you can just create a designer to see and drag into the table as well. That's also possible. Let me just find out for you. So this is where how you can create a foreign key, primary key, and a composite key. Normally, this is the database diagram is normally in here, and this because I think in my system there is some sort of file is missing, and I can't create that at the moment. Oh, you can see that there is only one type of this is chair, and I said add, and this has created one chair type diagram. Now, if I have more than one, it will show me more than one, and I can drag them. But let me just close it for a second, and I try into the other one. I got this one as well. Somehow, new database diagram, and I got three in this, and I can just say add, 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 close. So this, because this too has got some relationship, has got both as a primary key setup here, and I can just look at that, and this is also created here. So, but if I wanted to, for example, create this as a foreign key, I can actually drag it to this table, and oops, and create this as a foreign key in here. Okay, now when I get that, I got this one, and in here, what I want to do then again the similar thing. From the sale, this will be my primary key, and on the customer, this is so it's the customer ID, which is a primary key onto this table. In the sale ID, I wanted to make it as a foreign key, so I press OK. And then this one, it has given me the name, and I can just press OK. And you can see that the relationship is established here. So this customer IDs actually became the foreign key in here, and this relationship is there. But you can't see, so you can see the relationship between customer, between sales and this. Now this has been created here, and if I, and this is part of my another database which has I have created. If I just close this, yes, okay, this diagram I have created an Excel diagram one, press OK. And are you happy with that? Yes. So now if I refresh it, I can see that um, it was a customer one. I can see that the keys, I got this sale one, I got foreign keys, which is established here. Okay, so that's how you can also establish a foreign key in the shortcut ways. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye bye.